guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Olive, and this channel is all about tips and advice to basically to life. If that interests you, then please don't forget to subscribe down below. My goal here is to build a community where you feel comfortable and trusted, and we can all talk to each other whilst we go through this thing called life. Because I don't know about you, but for me, it's a struggle sometimes. It really is. So if you feel the same, then join me here in this struggle to life. Today, I'm going to be talking about 5 signs that you are potentially in a toxic relationship. Maybe you already know it, maybe you don't, or maybe you're the reason it's toxic, which is a really hard pill to swallow. I know some of these points I'm guilty of, and maybe you will be too. I don't know. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not you. Let's find out, shall we? So the first sign that you're in a potentially toxic relationship is that you worry a lot. You worry like 24/7. You worry when your partner goes out. You worry about who your partner hangs out with, about your relationship, if things are right, if you should be with them. You consider maybe leaving. You're just worried about every single aspect of your relationship, and that's a problem. This could be because your partner is giving you reasons to worry by maybe lying or hiding things, or not coming home till late, or just missing out on details they forgot to tell you, and that is causing a worry and a natural concern. Or the second reason could be that the problem lies within you. That's a hard thing to hear, and maybe something you haven't even thought about. Sit down and maybe write a list of the reasons why you worry. What is actually causing the initial worry to kind of erupt out of you? A lot of the time, we carry past emotions from past relationships, and those don't necessarily have to be with a partner. They could be with a sibling, or just a family member, or a friend. Anyone really that you've had maybe a untrustworthy relationship with. We bring those emotions and those worries, and we carry them onto our next relationships. We then create these ideas and visions that make us worry, when really we haven't really been given a reason to worry, and we are creating that ourselves. So really take the time to actually evaluate why you're worrying. Is it because you have been given a reason by your partner, or is it because you are just insecure and uncertain and not confident with yourself? That's a really, really important one to think about. The second sign that you might be in a toxic relationship is that you argue all the time. Now, arguing, don't get me wrong, is very normal. If you don't argue at all in your relationship, that's also kind of a concern, because every normal person on this planet argues for some reason or another. I always say, the people that you love the most, you argue with the most. Me and my sister, we argue all the time. We bicker, hate each other so much, and then in 5 minutes, we love each other, we make up, we're fine, who cares? It was what it was. But here's the thing, if the arguments start to become extremely intense all the time, meaning you maybe don't talk for hours after every stupid little argument, then in my opinion, something is wrong, and it's toxic, it's unhealthy, because you're constantly sad, you're overthinking, you always have to try and figure out why the other person is upset, and maybe you don't feel like apologizing, or maybe you feel like they need to apologize, and it becomes a mess, and you have to again evaluate why this is happening, what is starting the arguments, and communicate, which I will always use this word on my channel, by the way, communicate. It is all about the communication, because without communication, nothing works. Think about all of the relationships you used to have when you were a child, like a teen. Did you ever talk to someone when something was wrong, or did you just do the silent treatment and hope the other person figured it out? But they didn't, because no one can read minds. It would be very cool if we could, but we can't. Next time when an argument starts to rise, stop for a minute and literally look at your partner and say, hang on, why are we arguing right now? Keep your tone calm and just try and actually figure it out. How did it start? Go back to the root. The third reason that you may be in a very toxic relationship, and this one I'm actually guilty of, is that you lose your independence. This one is very common, I feel. When you first enter a relationship, everything is so exciting, everything is so new. All you want to do is 24/7 spend your time with your partner, because it's just like they are heaven, you know? And we're all kind of guilty of that, but some of us are able to then continue on with our lives and not think about our partner so much, but then some of us, like me, guilty, get a bit too attached. If you find yourself completely dependent on your partner for everything, and all you can do is 24/7 think about them, and you always want to spend all your free time just with them, and not with your friends, not with your family, this is unhealthy. This shouldn't be happening. I know that in your mind, maybe it seems like, oh, but we're in love, of course, I want to spend all my time with them. I get it, but it's not healthy. Trust me, you're going to become so dependent on them that if anything ever happens, you need to be able to be okay with yourself. You need to be able to move on and be fine and live your life and follow your goals and your career and your friends and your family and your interests. You cannot become too dependent on someone because you will lose yourself completely. If they don't pay you 100% attention, you will start to get annoyed. And there is nothing to be annoyed about because they're not doing anything wrong. They're living their life and you are perhaps very dependent on them because that's how you've trained yourself to be since the beginning. So watch out for that one. It could be the other way around though. They could be needy. They could be the one that are super dependent on you, and that is also a sign that the relationship is heading in a very toxic direction. So try and resolve that at the beginning before it gets too intense. The next sign is that you are never really supported by your partner. A partner who truly loves you and wants the best for you and wants you to be mentally healthy and in a good place is someone who supports you. They support you in everything that you do. Even if they don't necessarily love what you do, they're not interested in what you do, they support you because they care and love for you. Generally complimenting you or giving you advice or tips to make you feel better when you're maybe not in the best place, maybe with your career or emotionally with family, or I don't know, whatever is going on in your life, that person should be supporting you. And if they're not, then red flag. Other ways that they're maybe not supporting you and you're not noticing is if they're making jokes about you constantly or at you and they think it's funny, but it's actually really hurting your feelings. If they're making jokes in front of their friends that they think are funny about you. Basically, if they're just making you feel less confident, then something is very, 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 very wrong. A relationship, it's a team. It's always a team. Even if it's not an intimate partner, it could be a family member, it could be a best friend. It's a team. You're supposed to support each other, and if someone is not supporting you, get them out the window, sis. Just to add on to that, also, if they can't keep your secrets, that's a big no-go. If you can't trust your partner with your secrets, then how are you ever supposed to trust them further down into the relationship? Another sign is that you are always the one making the effort. If you ever find yourself being the one that's always planning things, always deciding what you do, always inviting them to do things, if you're in a long-distance relationship, if you're always the one flying to see your partner, you're always the one planning the dates to when you see each other next, if you're always the one just making the effort for every single little thing, that's also a bad sign. It just means that their head is like, it is what it is. We do something cool if we do it. If not, whatever. They'll plan it, whatever. I don't need to think about it. That's where their head's at, and that's a really bad one. It will cause you to stress a lot and feel a lot of pressure in the end, and you will probably word vomit at some point at them because you'll be so frustrated that you're constantly the only one that cares and are making the effort. And the last sign that I'm going to give you today is if your partner is always controlling you. This one's pretty obvious, I would say, but you have no idea how many people I have met that are in very controlling relationships, and I cannot believe my eyes that they are still in them. There are many psychological ways that people can keep you in a relationship. If you feel like your partner is always controlling you, for example, telling you what you should be wearing, telling you who you should or should not be going out with, telling you where you should be going or where you shouldn't be going, what you should be posting on social media, what you shouldn't be. No one on this planet should ever tell you what you should or what you shouldn't do. Ever. I can't even emphasize that anymore. Let me try again. Ever. Was that better? Never. If you find yourself with a partner that's doing that, I really, really advise you to reevaluate your life and your relationship choices. Someone that is very controlling, especially at the start of a relationship, I don't even want to think how they will evolve later on when things get more serious. And I think you should really sit down and think about that if you are in this position. Maybe you're the one that's controlling your partner. Are you telling them what to do? Are you telling them what to wear? Are you telling them who they should see or who they shouldn't see? Obviously, there are some exceptions, like if your partner wants to go and hang out with their ex and you're uncomfortable with that, then of course that's weird and I'm on your side with that one. Obviously, if you can come to some agreement and it doesn't bother you guys and they're good friends and you know that and you're okay with that somehow, then that's so fine. But I mean, if, for example, your girlfriend has a friend that she wants to hang out with, but for some reason you don't like her or you have a bad opinion of her, it's not your choice if she should hang out with her or not. And you should never be telling someone who they should see or who they shouldn't see. Remember that all of these points could also be coming from you. So sit down and really think about why these things are maybe happening in your relationship. Who's actually causing them? Is it a mutual thing that's kind of happening? There's usually one person that's doing them a little bit more than the other. Evaluate those and try and communicate them with your partner because communication is key. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like videos like this, then don't forget to subscribe down below. You can also follow me on Instagram at oliveradarko if you just want to follow my daily life and me. But apart from that, that's it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If I helped you a little bit, maybe I didn't. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But hopefully I could give you some insight into something and help you even 1%. That's a goal of mine, so let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.